Namaskar, warm greetings to you from DELNET Developing Library Network, New Delhi, India, the single largest library network connecting more than 7,800 institutions. Esteemed and most distinguished speaker, Mr. Peter Bay, Assistant University Librarian, Princeton University, New Jersey, USA, the governing board members of DELNET, the eminent librarians, library and information science professionals, heads of various departments of library and information science, technology experts, ILL DDS practitioners, faculty members, researchers and scholars, DELNET colleagues at its head office here at New Delhi and its coordination units in Bangalore, Hyderabad and Pune, ladies and gentlemen. I, Sangeeta Kaul, Director DELNET, on behalf of DELNET Developing Library Network, New Delhi, extends a very warm, hearty welcome to all of you for joining us today from different parts of India and many other countries to the DELNET annual lecture, which will shortly be delivered by our most distinguished speaker, Mr. Peter Bay, on connecting libraries and collections for global users. We would like to express our very sincere gratitude and thanks to Mr. Peter Bay for acceding to our request to deliver the most prestigious DELNET annual lecture for 2022. We are much grateful to you, Peter, for acceding to our request and for being so accommodative and very gracious in accepting our kind invite. We are remain ever grateful, and let me, the entire attendees of this session along with me extends a very warm welcome to you, Peter, and thank you so very much for making it possible for us to have you here with us this evening and your morning. Thank you very much, Peter. I would like to apprise you all that DELNET has been organizing the annual lectures since 1998. These lectures have been delivered in the past by eminent experts, including Dr. V.S. Arunachalam, Distinguished Service Professor, Carnegie Mellon University, US, Dr. N. Sheshagiri, former Director General, NIC, Professor V.S. Prasad, Director, NAC, Mr. Stephen Abraham, President, Special Libraries Association, USA, Mr. Brent May, President, SLA, Dr. Gulshan Roy, Director General, ICERT, Mr. Brian Gambles, Executive Director, Library of Birmingham, UK, Dr. Heather Brown, Assistant Director, Arts Lab, Australia, Mrs. Anjana Bhatt, University Librarian, Florida Gulf Coast University at Florida in USA, Dr. Camilla Elire, former President, American Library Association, Professor Boyun Ken, CTO and Associate Professor, University of Rhode Island Libraries in USA, Mrs. Trish Hamford, Director, Policy and Education, Australian Library and Information Association. It's a profound privilege for us to have today with us Mr. Peter Bay, who is going to shortly deliver the DELNET annual lecture of 2022. I have a profound privilege and honor in introducing you all to Mr. Peter Bay, who is known globally for his remarkable contributions to the world of resource sharing. I take immense pleasure in introducing Mr. Peter Bay, who works at the Princeton University Library as Assistant University Librarian for Collections Access, Fulfillment, and Resource Sharing. Deeply rooted in the resource sharing community, Peter served as an information coordinator and secretary of IFLA Document Delivery and Resource Sharing Section Standing Committee since 2013. In 2020, Peter had planned and organized RCSVD.org, an international resource sharing initiative that now became a project co-funded by the Erasmus Plus program of the European Union. Before Princeton, Peter worked as an ILL librarian at the University of Albany and Columbia University Libraries. Peter is interested in all matters of libraries' resource sharing activities, particularly its international aspect. It's a profound privilege and honor to have with us today Mr. Peter Bay. I would not like to stand between you and our attendees who eagerly are looking forward to share, hearing your expert views. And also we look forward now to your delivering the DELNET Annual Lecture 2022. Once again, we extend a very hearty welcome to you, Peter, from the entire library fraternity from India and also many of the countries who are there today with us. And it's a profound privilege that you have been very gracious and kind in accepting our invite. May I have a pleasure of requesting you, Peter, to deliver the DELNET Annual Lecture 2022. It's over to you, Peter.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta, Dr. Sangeeta Kao. And it is an honor, really an honor. And when Dr. Kao listed all the previous presenters, I was thinking, wow, should I be one of those people? And it scared me off. But here I am and talking with you about what I really love. And especially when DELNET invited me, I thought I heard about DELNET before. So, this might be a perfect place to talk about the things that I love, resource sharing, which I mean. So my name is Peter Bay. I'm working at the Princeton University Library, and I have a long title, so I not even try to read it here. Also, I'm originally from South Korea, and my Korean name is, as you can see from the slide, Sung Il, which I didn't know until I started working in the US as an interlibrarian librarian, that ILL also means interlibrarian. So when I apply a job for the interlibrarian, my name is perfect name that I can prove that I was born for this job. And also, this is a good way to present or to start a presentation with other interlibrarian colleagues. It's kind of fun, but also try to forget my name after this presentation. It will not be easy. So I left here my email address and other information, but before I forgot, the most important thing from this presentation is just having a chance to talk with you, and I will try to talk many things about the resource sharing, which I don't think will be delivered properly or in this short amount of time. So having my email address, you can always contact me and ask me the question. Or if you do that, I will do same way. If I need something from India, I will do that same way. So main theme is why we share and how. And these are the brief topics that I'm going to talk. I will show you what is going on in the US academic libraries in regarding to the resource sharing. And then I will also show the services and other tools that we are using in the US. After that, I will talk about the international resource sharing, the current situation, and the tools that we can use, and also what will be the future of international ILL. And finally, I will share with you some thoughts. There won't be any, big philosophy or theory or anything. And also now I see that now it's at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. So after long days of work, you must be tired. So hopefully, I hope that you will enjoy my presentation. And there's no need to make a note. There will be no exam, no test, no quiz after this. So please enjoy. So first, about interlibrarian in the US. So this is the statistics from 2020, which shows the top ILL lending libraries, meaning the top 3 libraries which lend items to other libraries. And this record, this data is coming from the ARL statistics, Association of Research Libraries, of which I believe about 120 or some big research libraries in the US are the members. So these records are from among those 126 big research libraries. So as you can see, the number one library that lend items to other libraries is University of Minnesota. So for year 2020, they lend more than 82,000 items to other libraries. And since it's from 2020, I have to tell you the number is a bit lower than usual, but still 82,000 items lent to other libraries from one library. I don't know, how do you think? Is it many or too low? Since I am not aware of the statistics in India, but if I know some other countries that their statistics, and this number is much higher than the others. Then this is the 3 libraries which borrowed more. And this is a bit odd. The Harvard is number one. Usually they are not, but also the number of transactions they requested is over 100,000 items. Meanwhile, they have lent to other libraries only 22,000 or something. And then the University of Wisconsin was actually number 3, I believe, in the lending libraries, and also they borrowed more. Especially this record, this data I found interesting because Harvard, with its collection of over 16 million, I believe, their number of collection is a lot higher than anyone else, any other libraries, but still they borrowed so many items. What does that mean? Does Harvard collection is not enough for the Harvard researchers? Or does Harvard researchers do researches that is more requires more items that they do not have, or something new that Harvard does not have in their collection yet? This will be an interesting question. We can dig in further to know more about our patients' behavior. But again, for today's purpose, I'll just show you this is the number of transactions we process every year. And in Princeton, we have a lot smaller. For example, we borrowed about 25,000 items. Princeton is also a very small school compared to Harvard. We have only 7,000 students body. So how do we do that? So what are the services we provide, and what are the tools that we use to handle all those thousands and thousands of transactions every year? So in recent, I believe, decade, the concept of resource sharing is a little bit changed. Traditionally, interlibrary loan is a service where you can get the items that you do not own. But now the concept is not just the do not own, but not available items. This means when an item is checked out to another patron, you can recall, but also many libraries process it through the interlibrary loan, which is much quicker many times than recall. So maybe that is one of the reasons that there are so many transactions that we process, but now the not available is the criteria that we choose when we go to other libraries. And then also many patrons now find items that exist. Thanks to the internet and other databases, there are many citations on certain topics. Bibliographies are available. When researchers found them, they wish to read them. So in a way, from discovery to delivery, it's become our works. We have to deliver the item they discovered. So many libraries especially the first 3 libraries that at the top, they are using, I call the tiered resource sharing network, meaning there are resource sharing network which is working regionally or between a similar size of libraries, and then it goes to the national using OCLC network, for example, and then go to the international. So there are different levels of resource sharing network works to get the materials for our patient. And then interlibrary loan is always takes money. I mean, you have to deliver the items, you have to pay the postal office or other delivery services, and also there are staff members who's working for them. But if we are thinking about the true cost of ownership of a book, not just a cost that you pay to buy the book, but also you have to catalog them, and you need a perpetual space to store them. So compare this true cost of ownership versus the cost for interlibrary loan, and many times still we found ILL is cheaper. And also the value of patient satisfaction is something important. When they request and we deliver it in a short amount of time, and then patron really doesn't care where the item is coming from, how we acquire them. As far as they have the items, they are happy, and that's what we are aiming for. So here's an example from Princeton University, resource sharing networks. So we have what we call the LECAP shared collection. That is, LECAP is our offsite storage facility, which you will see a picture later. And we share this offsite storage facility with Columbia University, New York Public Library, and Harvard University. While we are sharing this storage facility, we thought, why don't we share the collections in it? So in this storage facility, we have more than 10 million volumes of books in it, and we share much of them. So our patient can find those books that belong to Columbia, New York Public, or Harvard that are in recap from our own catalog. So they can request it and retrieve it as if they are our collections. In a way, small 4 libraries resource sharing happens at recap level. And then when the item is not available from those 4 libraries, then we go to Borrow Direct Consortium, which is another consortium of 13 libraries in Ivy League schools, plus University of Chicago and Johns Hopkins and other research libraries in the country. So we go to the Borrow Direct system, Borrow Direct Consortium to borrow books. And then for the articles request, we use a Rapid ILL. Later, I will explain you, but the services so far is all we call the patron-initiated service. There is a little step involvement included in it. And then once the recap or Borrow Direct fails, we go to the OCLC resource sharing network. And if it fails from there, then we send email to all over the world. So we are getting our materials from Africa, Europe, Asia, in any place in the world. But all these services, also important thing is that seamlessly connected, which means when it fails in the first levels of request, patient doesn't need to make another request. Internally, we are moving the request from one step to the next step. So for the patient, they will make the request once, and then until they get the materials, they don't have to do anything. The rest, we will take care of them. So this is a screen of Borrow Direct services that I search it title here, there, and everywhere. Best love story of Sudha Murthy. I hope I pronounced it correctly. So it shows this interface. As our patient can access this interface, they can search it from here. And then you can find there are 4 libraries: Cornell, Chicago, Columbia, Harvard has it. So at this point, what patient need is they can just choose where they wish to pick up. We deliver to the branch libraries, and then they make the request. Traditionally, the interlibrary service is working this way. A patient submit the request to the library, and the library staff receive the request, and they find who owns the materials and send the request. But in this service model, there's no library staff who will find who owns it. The system will find who owns the material, and then the system will send the request to the owning library directly. So until we receive this book from one of the lending libraries, we do not know even the request does exist. So in this way, we save the time. And then this picture, what you see here is what I said earlier, is a recap, our offsite storage facility where we keep the books. As you can see, this is very tall tower of bookshelves. And in this facility, we shelve the books, not by code number, but by size, so that we can save the space. In this aisles, you can see in this aisle in both sides, we have about 250,000 titles in it. This is very tall. You will be amazed if you see in person. So I said earlier, anyway, going to the technology, I said earlier the patron initiated request. So there's no time wasted while processing the request initially. And then even not coming from the patron initiated request service such as Borrow Direct or Recap, even the simple OCLC request when we receive, if patron provide a proper ISBN, ISSN, or OCLC number, any standard number, the request will be processed automatically by the system. Because there are the standard number, it's easy to find holding libraries. And then when the item is coming, especially for the articles and book chapters coming as a PDF format, as soon as we receive them, we set up a procedure in which the file will be delivered as soon as we receive them. So in some cases, there are 3-hour differences in the US. So if a West Coast library sends something at night in our time in East Coast, then instead of waiting until the next morning that a staff came and processed the request, the article will be delivered to the patient immediately. So we save the time. And also, there are many libraries use OA materials actively for interlibrary loan. So OA button or OA.org, you can Google them. They provide a service that you can search open access articles available throughout the internet. It doesn't cover everything, but still you can find a lot of materials that are available online as open access. Why our patrons couldn't find it, but that's what we provide our services. I don't know why they couldn't find it, but still we are the specialists who can find them. And also there were some initiative to share the ebooks. The Occam's Reader is a project started in Texas. I think it started about a decade ago. It's still moving on. It's having a permission or consensus from some publishers. They are able to share the entire ebook with other libraries. And then one of the most hot topic in our field is CDL. The CDL is called the Controlled Digital Lending, which is, you can later check on the website of Controlled Digital Lending. Controlled Digital Lending is a concept that as if we lend a print book to our patron, we also lend a scanned, a digitized book to our patrons. Meaning, when we have a one copy of print book in the library, we lend it to our patron. Likewise, if we scan that book, create a digital file, then we can lend it digitally to our patron, following the same logics we handle with the print copy. Meaning, when digital copy is checked out to one person and no one else can access the file, because if you have a one print copy, only one person can use it. Maybe if you have 2 or 3 print copies, then you can lend 2 or 3 people at the same time. But the important part is when the digital book, digitized book is being used by your patron, you have to sequester your print material so no one can access it. It's likewise when a person checked out the book, it is only for that person, even the library or other people, no one can touch the book. So we follow the same logic, 1-to-1 ratio of the loan, either digitally or physically. So following this logic, during especially the COVID closure, many libraries started this controlled digital lending. And this might be a big game changer for the international ILL, because think about a patron in India can access a print copy of the book here in Princeton, digitized online. And because we try to follow the copyright guidelines and policies, so the platform where we allow patron access the digital book is read-only. You cannot even download or you cannot print or anything. You can just read it online. But still, instead of sending books to India across the Pacific Ocean and takes time, this might happen within a couple of hours if the book has been scanned already. And then patrons can easily read the books from their computer screen. Yes, reading the computer screen is not always a comfortable experience, but still getting access to the information is another important thing. So with all this technology, one of our dilemma is how to manage the expectation of our patrons. This is a screen capture of one of the system, the interlibrary management system we use. And this happened to me. So I made a request, as you can see, date changed, meaning I made a request of September 30th, 2020, 11:08. That's when I made the request. And then the request was sent about 7 minutes later, because again, this happens, a direct request features no step involved. It was sent within 7 minutes. And then somehow, I think I was lucky, another library in another side of the country received the request and they sent the file immediately. So I received the article in 11:32. So that is less than 30 minutes. So if you are getting an article requested through the interlibrary loan, received from California in less than 30 minutes, you will be happy. I'm sure you will be happy. But what will be your expectations for your next request? And the similar thing happened once for one of our faculty members. That happened actually Sunday morning. So he was surprised. He was shocked and asking us, how could you do that? Well, this is the power of our system happen. But again, once you see this, you experience this, then your expectation will go up. So for us, what can we do? We are victims of our success, but maybe we are happy victim of our success, but still how to manage our patients' expectation is big dilemma for us. So now let's go to the international ILL. So in the US, at least, now we receive more requests for the international materials. So traditionally, for example, East Asian countries materials from those countries, Chinese and Japanese, Korean materials, they were requested by the scholars of that topic, like Chinese history or language or literature. They are requesting Chinese materials. But now we are receiving the request for the chemistry or engineering or other topics published in China. And because of the citation somehow is translated into English or have some English abstract, and some of our patrons they believe this article is published in English, and later they are surprised that this article is published in Chinese, for example. So, but the point is now we are receiving more requests for the materials published in other countries. And also the patron expectation I mentioned earlier. So they think they can get it quickly. It's available online, and why is not freely? It's online, it's free. But we know well that not everything is online. It's not that everything is free. And also not everything is written in English. Our patron, but still I need to buy yesterday. So in a way, as I mentioned in the earlier slide, the discovery for them should also, they expect delivery, almost instantaneous delivery. So that is the thing that we are struggling. And also for the international resource sharing, we have some other difficulties. The language issues, sometimes it's hard to navigate the library's webpage written in other languages. And then copyrights and legal matters are something very difficult to overcome. And also, to make the matter more complicated, there's a license agreement which does not allow send the materials to international libraries. And also, this is a very traditional concern. I put it as a hydrophobia. Usually, the hydrophobia in a medical term is you're afraid of water. But also, international ILL, since we have to send the materials across the big water, say Pacific Ocean or Atlantic. So many libraries are afraid of sending materials cross over the water because they're afraid that something might happen. It happens, I'm not denying it, but it's very rare cases the material is being missed. But still, there are this kind of concerns about the material's well-being when you send to other libraries. And then it is again because you are shipping it costs, and also how to pay other libraries. There's become another issues. And also maybe in some countries they handle interlibrary differently. For example, in most libraries in the US, we provide a free ILL to every patron, but not every country provide a free ILL. So then the cost will be patrons' burden, and it became an issue. And also, as you may heard well, but with the paywall articles, the truth is paywall, but the lies are free. I found this is very interesting quote that reflects a lot of things happening in these days. So important scientific researches which cure the disease, which will provide a direct help to the current crisis are all paywalled. Meanwhile, other disinformation is freely available online. So what will be happening if the situation continues? So the international ILL is, in that sense, is a crucial services we can offer to our patients. So what are the tools that is available? I hope that this section will provide you some practical tips that you can even use immediately. So first tool is what we call the International ILL Toolkit. This was started in a couple of years ago, actually during the COVID time. And the three librarians, Brian Miller from Ohio State University, and Dennis Massey, who is working in OCLC Research Center, and then Lapis Cohen from University of Pennsylvania, they have spearheaded this project. So this is a collection of cloud or crowdsources initiative where you can find all the relevant information about the international ILM. So I will show you later a screenshot, but from here you can find active international lenders in the US and other countries, and then other tips and tricks how to deal with a certain country or certain region. And also there are translated ILL request templates in different languages. Sometimes it is useful to make the request in their own languages than in English, obviously. And also this is, as I said, as a cloud-based and also crowd resourcing initiative. So you, DELNET, colleagues in DELNET can provide information about your libraries and whether you can lend it to the internationally, and then how people can make the request from India. So this is the screenshot of, see, as you can see, this is a Google spreadsheet. And people add information using a form. And now we need some control on the content. So you can submit the information to a form that is linked from here. And I will share this slideshow later. So you can find, for example, the URLs here. So you can later, go to the website. Oh, you can search International ILL Toolkit, you can find it. So in this Google Sheet, you can find, if you see at the bottom of the screen, you can see lenders outside the US and US lenders, tips by countries, and request templates, and about this page. So the libraries listed here and information here are all independent, meaning they could be part of a big research-sharing network such as OCLC, but also they are receiving requests from individual libraries. Let's make sure that individual libraries, not by individual patrons. So you can use, for example, the first one, Baylor University, they are part of the OCLC, and I'm talking about the law number 3, and they have an ILL lending website. So if you go their website, you can find the request form that you can make the request to them. Even though you are not the OCLC member, you can still make the request. And then you can see also online catalog. You can search whether this library has the item or not. Then finally, the online ordering form is there as a link. So you can make the request from there. I believe the ILL lending website will tell you the conditions, if they charge any. You will find all those information. So there will be listed, this is for only the US lenders, which you can use it, but also if you need something else from other libraries, you can easily check the lenders outside of US. Also, I wish that we have some information from India in this page as well. And this is another tab where you can see the request form or template in different languages. So if you have to send an email to a country in Middle East, for example, there is a request form for Arabic. So you can use that as a request form. So this will be a very useful tool. You can use even immediately. And then let's see, RSCBD is a resource sharing during COVID-19 is where we come up this name, but we pronounce it as a received. Once we started it, and somebody found RSCBD could be read as a received, and received is the final goal of resource sharing. So we now call it as a received. And the URL is there. This is an initiative started by volunteer libraries in 2020 when the libraries were closed due to COVID. And from this website, when you visit, I can show you later the screenshot. You can make a request. You can search open access articles, and then you can make a request. There are volunteer libraries from many countries, and they are receiving the request and review them. If they can provide the articles you are requesting, we provide them. And this is the interlibrary loan service, so only the library or librarians can make the request. And when in the request form, we ask the librarians to put their email address, the official email address, so we know that we are providing to a librarian. So we verify the name of librarian and their email address and also their affiliated libraries. And volunteer librarians are helping this project greatly. And we found that this was really a useful service. Also, we found many interesting connections, for example. From our statistics, I found there are Turkish libraries, for example, are great suppliers, and they supplied more than any other libraries. We are very, encouraged by their contributions. And then because of this service, this initiative, the next screen later, I will show you also a new project started. And we do only electronic delivery because we started during the COVID when the libraries closed. And we still maintain only the electronic delivery of book chapters and journal articles. And many times there was enough for our patients' need. Well, obviously there are people who need the books, but at least at this point, we try to make it simple. And also to make it simple, we provide the services free. You don't have to pay. We don't require any payment. If you start to make the payment, then things become more complicated. Our goal was just to start immediately with as simple as possible method. So pre-service, electronic delivery only, and also we recommend our volunteers and requesters to follow the copyright law of each country. I don't want to go there to the international copyright. That will become more complicated. So this is the form where you visit the receive.org. You will see this website. And first you can search your articles with a DOI or citation. And then if there's any online, any open access articles available, you will see immediately. If it's not available, so you will see the request form, but also even from here, you don't have to really search. If you are sure that this is not available open access, you can just go to the immediate link, either book chapter or use a pull request form. The full request form is for articles and book chapters for the book chapters, but merely we don't differentiate too much. And also for now, there are some, I found the last couple of weeks that there are some issues with the full request form. So if you wish to make the request, use the book chapter form, and then you will be presented to the request form, which you will see later. So in any case, this screenshot is when I searched an article and it found this citation from the OA database, but actually this article is not available as an open access article. Then you can, from this citation, you can go to the complete request, but the requested link, then the request form will be automatically populated with all the citations. And what you need is just put your information where you wish to receive the information. So we recommend to use official library email address or your email address that belong to in your institution and your name and other library's name so that we can deliver the materials. And also we ask need by date. So when the article cannot be fulfilled the deadline, the system will remove the request from the queue. So we cannot guarantee that 100% we will provide, but there are about 60% of the requests were fulfilled. And so in a way, this could be used as your last resort. And you can see from here, actually, this is the Google spreadsheet where all the volunteers are working. So we receive requests. Once you submit the request through the form, we will see from this Google Sheet. And then from here, the volunteers are search their catalog or other places they know. And then once they can provide the requested articles, they will update it as done. So since we started in April 2020, so far, as of yesterday, November 15th, we received about 20,000 requests, 19,782 requests, and about 60% of the requests were fulfilled. But also volunteers are not providing not only the articles, but sometimes they do not have articles or chapter that requested, but they know who owns it and how to make the request. So then our volunteers will provide that information. So maybe sometimes, the colleagues have a hard time to search, say, the libraries in Turkey. Then Turkish colleagues knew who owns it and who can lend it. Then they will try to make a connection between the libraries. So our goal is providing either article or other information that way you can get the articles. So in this way, there are, the countries where the national resource sharing is working very actively, like DELNET or the OCAC in the US, there are already existing resource sharing networks. So our goal is not replacing those existing networks, but trying to fill the gaps between that big networks. So this could be used as the last resort, or try to make a connection to other networks. So in the end, our goal is receiving the articles or books you requested. So we try to work on this final goal, whichever way is possible. So again, after this project, more than 2 years of this project, we learned we are connected much more than we ever imagined. And also a tool that filled the gaps between the network is something that we missed a long time, but there wasn't anything. So from here, we started a new project called Hermes project, which is funded by EU. By the way, I really wish to thank all the volunteers, including some colleagues in India. I really appreciate their contribution to our services. You can be a volunteer. Also, first of all, try it. If you need anything that you have hard time to get it, then make a request and we'll see what it happens. So the future, as I said, Received project is moved on as what we call the Hermes project. The Hermes is in Greek mythology, is a a god who delivers the messages between other gods. So we found, document delivery services. So Interlibrarian Hermes is a good name to use for our project. So with this project funded by EU, and the project itself will end next year. And we have 6 or 5 international libraries in Europe and Middle East who are main participants, but also there are many other indirectly participating in this project. So this is the Hermes webpage. You can find the informations. And the project output, the goal of this project is we are actually working on publication, which is almost a white paper of international ILL, and it is finalized and will be published by ICLA next year. And also, as a part of the project output, we are working on an open source resource sharing platform called Talaria, and this will replace the current received web page and request processing workflow. And also, using this Talaria and the white paper, we are providing training sessions for the librarians and research communities. And we did already 2 or 3 trainings in last year and early this year. And this could be continued even after the project ended. So let me see. The Talaria is actually something that you might be interested in. Talaria is a name of the sandals that Hermes used to deliver the messages. So it's a winged sandal. So we found the Hermes tool should be Talaria, and our project Hermes, So currently it is an alpha version, and this will be released as open source software. So this will be, first of all, help to receive the project moving forward, but also as an open source software, we wish to offer to all the library community, if they need it, they can install it on their own system, they can use it for their national resource sharing network. If there's already well-established resource sharing platform, they can use them. But if there are any countries which do not have their own resource sharing platform, Talaria could be used for their resource sharing networks. And then this Talaria could be connected, different instances of Talaria could be merged into one. So we can create a globalized Talaria network, which could be used for resource sharing as well. So this will be flexible the goal is making a system as flexible as possible to meet the different needs in different regions of the world. And when you check the Hermes project webpage, you will find more information on this. And also as a publication, this is a finalized version, the table of contents, and it will be published in 2023. And also we are planning to translate it into all different languages, the IFLA official languages. And also one of the contents, you can see, let me see, about chapter 4, contents, access and technology. So there are one section, chapter 2, overview of national and international resource sharing system. That is where we listed all the resource sharing networks in the world. At each country is what I mean. And so far, we don't have the coverage for every region. That's why we try to make this publication available online with some functionality that received information from other countries who are not listed here. So this will be updated regularly by the IFLA resource sharing, document delivery and resource sharing standing committees, so that the information will be updated accordingly. And also this could be used later as a reference source for all the matters regarding international resource sharing activities. So now, I hope that I didn't confuse you with so much information so far, but let's try to think, a couple of questions. And I like to share some of the thoughts which might be, you can think about tonight, and hopefully you can dream. But again, this is, I guess, main goal of this presentation is give you some thoughts and a seed of thoughts for our future works. So this is part of the earlier publication that I mentioned. We have a manifesto for international resource sharing. As an author of this manifesto, I just try to stress out a couple of things here. The access to information is fundamental human rights. And also, we as a librarian, we provide the information to our patrons, but no library can have everything their patrons need. As you saw earlier, Harvard is making more than 100,000 requests a year. Even Harvard is doing that. No library can provide everything, can have everything. So at a certain point, we have to help each other. And also helping someone in need is a first sign of civilization. This is one of the well-known anthropologists, Margaret Mead, said when she found a bones that was healed, and she found this must be helped by someone else. Our civilization starts from helping each other. And resource sharing librarian is one who help each other. Well, libraries in general, we do too, but especially resource sharing librarians, we really, hope that international resource sharing is important. And then this is another quote that I found while working on this manifest and other. This is a quote from a publication in the US from 1928, almost 100 years ago. So let's remember, the collections you have in your library is not just for you or for your patrons. The collection is for the entire humanities. You never know that who will use your collection in the future, in 100 years, to find or to start an important development, or discovery that will help the entire humanities. So the resources you have is for the entire humanities. Then what you have to do, if anyone needs it, you need to share with others. That's what library is for, and that's what resource sharing is for. This is our duty as a librarian. A professor in the US, Dr. David Lankes, I think he's teaching at the University of Texas. And one of his earlier quotes, I think about 10 years ago, he said, bad libraries build collections, good libraries build services, of which a collection is only one, and great libraries build communities. But I think, to build a great community, you have to have a good collection and good services anyway. It doesn't mean that, that having only collection is bad. But anyway, that's my interpretation. But we, resource sharing librarians, we are a community, and we are also making a community by sharing our resources. Let's remember that. So I believe we are in people business. We are book business, yes, librarians, people associated with the books, but we are using books to connect people. We are connecting people by using books so that the ideas expressed in a book by one person can be connected to another person. And also, we are the only profession in the world that said, please help us to help you. We are eager to help each other. We are eager to help our patrons, first of all, but the same way we are eager to help us. So when you have something that your patron requested, that which maybe another library owns, what you need to do, ask them. The worst thing is they say no, they cannot provide you, but then you can try other libraries. But having this mindset, the librarians, especially the resource sharing librarians, are one who are eager to help each other, who are eager to share as much as they can. So please don't hesitate asking other libraries to ask materials for your patron. And earlier that I showed the International ILL Toolkit, you can find many good resources that you can ask or use a receipt to ask the materials you need. Again, the worst thing you can get is no, then you can try again, but don't forget to ask others. And then vice versa, if someone asks you to help, please don't ignore and help. You never know what will come back. It is a karma. You accumulate good karma, and you will receive a reward after that. And also, lastly, let's be proud of us. You may think your job in the library is something very menial or nothing you do, but you are making big things in our society by sharing one books and one article at a time. You are making changes in the world, very small way, but steadily, and that is important. And the resource sharing librarians in the world, we have to remember that we are making better world. So we have to be proud of it. This will be the energies, our daily bread that make us move forward. Again, here's my name, Peter Bae, and email address is here. So please feel free to send me an email if you have any questions or anything. And I think I forgot adding my Facebook account. So if you can find me in Facebook, you can use it. And also there's a Facebook group that I created, ILLERS, which all the resource sharing librarians are gathered. Now we have more than 1,000 resource sharing librarians around the world, and you are most welcome. Again, this is ILLERS in the Facebook group. You can find us there too. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter Bae, for delivering such an excellent, exceptionally extraordinary, enriching, empowering DELNET Annual Lecture 2022. We are just going to remember it forever. Each and every thought shared by you, it is out of not much of your the firm believer in the practice of resource sharing, which is entirely in tune with the mission and the vision of an organization, DELNET. And I must confess that this is one of the best ever DELNET annual lecture being delivered over the past nearly 25 years. And we could have never thought of anyone else better than you, to have on this 25th annual lecture, to have, it was just the entire philosophy of an organization like DELNET, what we have been doing, promoting resource sharing, inspiring resource sharing, and trying to heal the society by providing an information, creating a world of connections. It has been such a great honor and pleasure that you have been able to be there with us today and deliberating that in such a very effective and in an extraordinary way, which we are just going to remember forever. Thank you so very much, Mr. Petube. It has also opened up altogether very new avenues for an organization like DELNET, and I think for the country like DELNET, which has got a great potential to contribute for the great efforts that the entire resource sharing community worldwide is doing. And we assure you from DELNET, we assure you from India that each one of us, being a library and information science professional who is always highly committed, to make a difference in the lives of other scholars and researchers, let's join our hands together with this global movement. We really greatly admire the efforts being done by you and other colleagues in the US and many other countries, creating this global platform. And there is a greater need and requirement, because as you have rightly said, that these collections which are being made, these whatever collections that we have, it's meant for the intellectual society. It's meant for the entire humanity. It doesn't belong to a specific particular institution or to a set region. This belongs to the entire global humanity. So let's be a contributor. We take a pledge today through this DELNET annual lecture, which has been, so wonderfully being deliberated. You have given us lot many takeaways, for us, for each one of us. Definitely, I think today, as you have rightly said, that, the thoughts are so convincing that each one of us would really like to be a part of it. It's just not simply being getting benefited, but also at the same time become a contributory factor in making this resource sharing a global resource sharing, and wherein each and everyone feels connected enough, and each and everyone feels that yes, they are playing a significant role in helping someone who is in need. And that's the best of the thing, when we create that entire community of interlibrary loan resource sharing. And you have strongly once again echoed that sharing is caring, and we, the library and information science professionals, have to really care for our society, for our users, together in a very collaborative, in a cohesive manner. We have to work together. And thank you so very much, Mr. Peter. We are indeed remain indebted to you for such a wonderful presentation. And not many thanks it has. We have made a new beginning today with having such a wonderful presentation and the thoughts that you have shared on this platform. And we really assure you that from India, from a network like DELNET, we are always there to help out a user, global community. And we would be really pleased enough if we can be of any assistance from this part of the globe. Thank you very much once again. On behalf of DELNET, before we make the floor open, we would like to present you a small memento, and it's a token of our warm, sincere gratitude to you for delivering the DELNET annual lecture. And also, we are just going to send across to you, and this is soon going to be there with you. And also, we take immense honor and pleasure in presenting you a plaque of honor from DELNET for so splendidly delivering the DELNET annual lecture 2022. We will feel truly honored if it takes, if it's able to occupy a position on your work desk somewhere. And yes, we really look forward also to inviting you to India, as you have said that you have never been to this part of the globe, especially to India. We really look forward to an opportunity to have you here in India, and each one of us would really eagerly look forward to having, you here, and once again to get an opportunity to listen to you in person. So thank you very much, Mr. Peter.
It is my honor. It is my honor, and I cannot agree more on what you said. we are in a global community aiming to the one goal. That's important. We are the same species, you know, the librarians are the same species. Thank you again. This is really a big
Thank
honor
you.
to me.
We really salute the spirits. We really salute, thank you so very much indeed. It was indeed a great honor. We were, with your permission, we have 15 minutes with us, and we would just like to quickly make the floor open for questions. And this is for our colleagues here today who have joined us from different nooks and parts, not only of India, also from many other countries. Floor is entirely yours. And because Mr. Peter Bay has to start his day, it's around 9:30 right now, 9:30 a.m. at Princeton. And so we would like to have yet another 15 minutes, from Mr. Peter, so that we can get furthermore benefited with his vast expertise and knowledge, and really, what he has done it, for the entire the global community. We would really like to make the best use of his ability. So we are making the floor open for questions, requesting our attendees, if you may like to ask any questions, you can post it also in the chat box, and we will be more than happy, to take the questions from any one of you. If you just want to ask, you can do that. We can give you an audio control. We have Neelam Vaishnav who may like to ask a question. We're just Neelam, we have unmuted you. Would you like to unmute yourself and ask the question? This is for Neelam Vaishnav. Neelam, would you like to, let me just, I think we may perhaps, this is for you, Mr. Peter. Many of our attendees are wanting to ask you, please share the Facebook ID. They may like to get connected with you.
Okay. Let me find out the information. I don't recall.
Okay.
So you can search my name as Seiangil Peter Bay, and I think I can get. Just give me a second. I'll try to.
Yeah,
find.
sure. Because I could see at least about 10 or 12 of our attendees who are really wanting to send you a Facebook request, to get connected with you. So. I just would quickly like to ask you a question, and that is, Peter, that what is the kind of a role that you feel that IFLA has to play, in bringing this entire, especially because we have a special, this IFLA's, section for document delivery, which is one of the most oldest, and also practically they are doing a lot much of work. But at a ground level, when we talk about, we really greatly admire the, and appreciate this received, initiative, and which is now turning into Hermes and others. But practically at the ground level, when we talk about the various countries, when we talk about the individuals, researchers, scholars, we talk about the librarians who are there, language still, is a barrier. You have even have shown that example. What is the kind of means to bring this global community together, because these are volunteers that we are talking about. We are talking about right now who are volunteering to do it. But how really to bring everyone with your vast expertise that you have put in your entire life, for this entire resource sharing and helping out the communities. How do you foresee this remains a major concern for even an organization like DELNET? How can we just ensure that no one goes empty-handed? We should be able to fulfill each and every request of our user, and to have a better turnaround time at the same means. So volunteers are only those who are really helping, but information may be available somewhere else. How to create that world of resource sharing wherein everyone is really eager enough to share, and at the same time we are also able to tap the libraries which are there, the professionals who are there. So I would just like to get your viewpoints on this. How do you envisage that how this can be accomplished?
Well, that is a $1 million question. It is not. There's no one answer. I think I'm dealing with. I'm working with colleagues from many different countries, coming from different backgrounds. So it is important, first of all, understand the differences. As I said earlier, we are the same species as a librarian, but also So in some countries, the librarians are government functionaries, and some others are not. So they are all coming from different backgrounds. So understanding their differences, not only their status, but also the cultural differences, everything, and find one direction or one solution that may not make everyone happy, but at least that will not make everyone unhappy. So finding in a middle ground is really important. And also, we really wish to hope that we can fulfill the request, every single request. But in a way, that's very wishful thinking. So we are not abandoning that thought. We are aiming it, but also we are firmly based on the realities of ours, where we are. And so expectation, again, managing the expectation for our patient is important, but also managing our expectation is another important thing. Working as a community of librarians, we all have in a way, the basic understanding of what we do. And based on that, also this understanding of the differences. And so at some point, you have to, how can I say, just be more listening others, and then find why this person is coming from this, saying this, and understanding the background. At least try to understand the background. From there, if every participants are coming from this same attitude, we can find a solution. Not easily, but I'm sure that we will work on that. And then the project that we started is really started from a conversation with 2 or 3 colleagues with me. And then slowly, in a way, I'm the one. Actually, I talked in one of the conference saying that I'm the guy who said, "Hey, let's have a dinner. I'm hungry." And then all others joined. They cooked the meals, and then IFLA provided a big table together. So the role of IFLA is having the IFLA's name behind us is to give us legitimacy of our project, which is indeed a good service for our patients. So using the big organizations such as IFLA or DELNET will provide you a background, a base that you can work on. But also important thing is understanding the differences, and also in a way encourage the differences and make them flourish from with their originalities and creativities. I'm not sure if I'm giving you an answer to your question, but still there are many ways that we can work together. And yeah, we are the resource sharing librarians.
Yes,
And
yes,
the reason
exactly.
that I love working in the library is, unlike other sectors, librarians are eager to help each other. That's the main spirit.
Very true. Mike, only one question to you, Mr. Peter. Out of these who have joined, means I think there should be a kind of a attempt, to ensure that per country, means from every country there should be a kind of a nodal resource sharing coordinator. If IFLA can float in, for example, a kind of an invite across the globe to the libraries, saying that if you may like to become a kind of a national coordinator for resource sharing. Because what happens is, when we are thinking about those who are already a part of it, if the library networks are a part of it, there are greater and greater chances that you would be able to, because right now you said it's only a 60% fill rate is there. But we have to also concentrate on the 40%. What are the kind of collections? What are the regions, from where these particular materials that someone desires to get, we are not able to fulfill? So the focus also should be in order to reduce that gap, in order to have a better fill rate. So if we have a country, means we, for example, as a library network, we have the users asking us the information not available across the country, and then we see from which country it has got originated. Maybe it may be a journal article, it can be of any other thing. And the more chances are, if you tend to approach, for example, the national libraries of those countries, or it can be a national library, let's say of science and technology in Hanover, or you have a national library of South Africa. We just got held just 2 days ago. Yesterday, in fact, we got It's a very old 1963 article. So chances are more. So what I'm trying to convey is when we are talking about, we really greatly appreciate, the initiatives being done. But if IFLA does, because IFLA has got a great voice, on the library community. So if IFLA approaches, they create a kind of a group, and wherein they request the national libraries, or they request the library networks which are there. That would eventually help in building up a very big, large corpus of the libraries, and there would be greater and greater chances of a more higher level of resource sharing practically happening at a global level.
I agree. So, that is, in a way, we were successful initially because we are small and flexible. And as we did everything in a way, just quick click, and then we made it happen. But once the IFLA as organizations get involved, national libraries involved, things become a little bit, slow, but still that is important. And about those 40% requests, what I've noticed is that either they are very old or very new. So our patrons can find something that's published the last week. No library has it, but still they're making the request, and then the librarian, they have to do that. So especially in the medical field is something that we got more and more requests. And I'm trying to recruit more volunteers from the medical libraries. They might have a better resources to serve. And medical science and engineering, for example, are the areas that we are not able to fill much of request. But also there are things that is really old, and sometimes it's very hard to find. But again, having an IFLA, that is actually one of my goals when I joined the IFLA, was that using IFLA as a way to create, exactly as you mentioned, a national coordinator, so that whenever any countries, for example, if I need anything from India, I don't know exactly who in India has it, then I can contact this national coordinator who can do this. And with the receipt, we are in a way trying to make that happen. For example, the colleagues in Italy, they are searching the Italian libraries, and they provide information about where the requester can get the materials. So likewise, I think I'm using the colleagues from India to find those informations as well. So I think that is a really great idea we can explore further. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. We still have 3 minutes to go, precisely
Yes.
2.5 minutes, and I just want to make the best.
By the way, I share the screen of Facebook Interlibrary group, ILLers, and earlier I showed my page that I don't know if you get. Somehow I couldn't type in the chat box, so otherwise you can find me there.
Yeah,
too.
it is there now on the screen. Yes, so this is for all of our attendees and everyone. I think you are going to get too many requests now, post the session. So so now the one last question for you, Mr. Peter, and that is when we talk about the European Union funding this Hermes project. So what is the kind of what this funding is all going to do, and how it's going to really help this entire movement? If you can just throw some light on that.
The most significant thing is we are going to have a stable platform. For now, we are using a simple web request form and Google Sheet that it works for us now, but when the initiative grew more, for example, initially we started a simple Google Sheet, then when the number of requests gets really crowded and it's over 10,000, the loading the sheet became really troublesome. So having this new platform, Talaria, we will have a more stable way to process the request. And eventually, all the new trend with the controlled digital lending, ebook sharing, if we can, we will use this platform to accomplish more. So having this systematic help is big contribution to our services. Also think about this way, the media changes. In 10 years ago, 20 years ago, no one talked about the ebooks. But now ebook is something that our patrons use it. And what types of other media will come in the future? Nobody knows. But again, those media, when the library purchases it, there should be a way to share them between the libraries. So having this control on a technical side of the platform we can adapt on whatever change is coming in.
That's great, Peter. Yeah, it seems that now we too, as though we would have really loved to, remain connected with you to have many more deliberations. But I think today we have just made a beginning, and we would really look forward to having you back again, and not just simply in the virtual environment. We really look forward to inviting you to India, to DELNET, to New Delhi, and to make it possible for all our professional colleagues here in this country also to get a wonderful opportunity to meet you in person. And we really look forward, and we are pretty confident that very soon we would like to, as we discussed, we may like to hold also some of the international resource sharing meet, and we would be more than happy, to have you with us. Once again, Peter, thank you very much for sparing so much of your time. And it has been, you have given us a lot much to do now, and I think we are all getting set now to get into the global community of resource sharing, to believe in. We have been all the ILL practitioners, resource sharing, librarians have always been the ones who have been the strong believers in the borderless society. And you have once again today reaffirmed, that yes, we have to, become the global librarians. We have to come out, of wherever we are and have to serve the global community. So the humanity is waiting, to get served wherever we are. We have to just think about the entire humanity, and definitely you have inspired, each and every one to the core. And we really look forward to have some very meaningful discussions further, on this subject. And to say, and DELNET also, I would like to convey that we are there, to support any of the queries that remains unfulfilled from your environment, from your platform. Please do not hesitate at all to just forward it, and we would also like to get ourselves registered onto the platform. And even without that, you can always scan, because we would really like that the 60% should, if we can, in some ways can contribute to narrow down. And that's what is the entire thing, we always that what is the magic to do that we can, we can fulfill that request, to have that magic wand and to see that we can fulfill each and every information requirement of our users wherever we are, whatever, wherever we may be. But yes, that concern always remains for the global community. It has been a great honor and pleasure, to have you, and thank you so very much for delivering, as I said earlier, one of the best ever, the DELNET annual lectures. And this we are going to definitely, remember forever, because as I said earlier, this has echoed each and every, the entire mission of this 30 years old organization. You have been able to also give us, a kind of a roadmap to further move to the global community, to serve the global community. And we assure you that we always remain committed, to offer our services and our resources for that. So on behalf of DELNET and on behalf of the entire colleagues who have joined us on this platform today, from different time zones, from different countries, we have so much in common. And the commonness is we belong to the same profession, and we carry the same, motto, we carry the same purpose in life, and that is to serve our users. So service, service, and service, to the humanity. That's something which is always will keep on binding us, and we will also stay together, to ensure that we are able to, create a difference in the lives of others, to bring in the change that all of us always desires to see. But if we become also an active participant in that, the world would definitely become a better place. So thank you so very much once again, Mr. Peter Bay, for being there. It has been a great honor and pleasure to have you.
It is my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you
so very much.
Let's be proud of what we are doing. We are doing great job for the humanities. Thank you again.
Yeah, God bless you. God bless you. Thank you so very much. And also to each one of our participants who have been here, your presence here this evening, this morning, this afternoon has meant a lot for each one of us. Thank you so very much. Stay happy, stay blessed, stay connected, and let's keep on collaboratively, stay connected, and collaboratively, let's make a difference in the lives of our researchers, scholars, users, And wherever we are, let's always carry that we belong to a global community. We belong to the world, wherein each one of us really is connected, and we have to keep on doing our best to bring in, to make the world more beautiful, to make the world, a better informed, a well-informed. And once we become a part of it, then only we can experience, what it really means. So thank you very much, Mr. Peter. It has been a great honor and pleasure. We really look forward to welcoming you, to India. And once again, warm greetings from India. May God bless you. And really, you carry on with this mission. And all of us are there with you all the time and helping out. And let's together, make a difference in the way that we are, working and providing our services to our users. God bless you. God bless you, each one of you. And it has been a great honor and pleasure for DELNET to have organized DELNET Annual Lecture 2022 by Mr. Peter Bay. We remain indebted to Mr. Peter Bay for his very gracious, very kind presence with us, and which we will always, always cherish. And we remain, we express our sincere gratitude to you once again. Thank you very much, Peter, and thank you so much. It has been a great honor. It has been a great honor. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all. God bless you all. Yeah, thank you. And have a great day ahead. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
You too. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks.